but I'm just going to wait till the confirmation, like I've been doing. Alright, welcome. This is Nuke Marine presenting Let's Learn Japanese, course series for the self-study of Japanese from basics and beginnings up to intermediate, hopefully advanced. As usual, today's going to be Let's Read. So up above is going to be playing, in this case, an anime, and as the anime plays, I'll be reading off to the side the transcript, in this case ripped to the subtitles of that anime, and pausing to look up words I don't know. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. In the dictionary, or I use Yomi-chan as the pop-up dictionary. So this, kind of like Evangelion, I'm assuming, you know, just from the first episode, it's going to be one of those things where it's just going to be a very difficult anime to get through, just because the level of, just the concept, you know, it's a science fiction. It is a yeah, science fiction show as opposed to something like you know, slice of life. Anyway, here's hoping that it turns out quite well. It's 24 episodes, and yeah, I'm only on episode 2, so time will tell. Anyway, after this, when I'm done, like I said, I'll finish up the second half of Harry Potter Book 3, be done with the Harry Potter books, at least for the time being. I'll finish that. After that, I'll be doing the last anime on this planned run, which is Attack on Titan, first season of that. And then after that, go back to Japanese dramas and, yeah, live action stuff, basically live action dramas and Japanese books. And they're going to be, instead of them being light novels for Japanese books like I did previously, these are going to actually be novels. That just means I'm going to limit it to, like, if I look at the audiobook, 10 hours. Like, if it's over 10 hours, then yeah, I might split it in half like I'm doing with Harry Potter. Actually, when you think about it, Harry Potter is a regular novel also as well, so there you go. It's a translated novel. Yeah, but try to keep it in that way, and yeah, see how that goes. Kind of by the time I get up to that, I'll be up to around 2022 or whatever of these whole Let's Reads as a series go, like the 22nd series of what I'll be doing. The goal is, of course, 50. It's taking a while to get up to 20, and these taking long breaks is not helping. Like, it's been about a week or so since I've done the previous one of these. I am doing stuff in between, so I think a common mistake, it's not a common mistake, but it's probably just, again, I got to be careful because I'm mentioning 4chan, the daily Japanese thread, because they like to kind of make, they assume, they're going on the assumption, and I think it's one of those where they got to find anything and everything to complain about, so they're assuming like what I'm doing here during the live stream is what I'm doing all the time, when it's not. Like, you know, they're bitching about pausing. It's like, well, yeah, I'm pausing because this is like, I'm treating this like studying. Whereas, you know, last night I'm watching a TV show with my wife, we're not pausing, I'm just watching the show with her type thing. But I'm not live streaming that. Or if I'm reading a book, you know, again, I'm not necessarily pausing because it's, especially if it's a physical book, it's just I'm reading the book. I'm not the type of guy that really likes looking up stuff from a paper book into a dictionary. I've never been that way. But doing it with electronic, no problem. And the fact that I've gotten a lot of benefits from it, like I'm learning vocabulary from doing that without having to like add stuff to Anki or review stuff that way. So I know like my vocabulary is picking up, even if you know, it's not being shown in Anki, for example. So this is stuff that's happening off the channel. So, but you got some people, and I know the assholes that started it. You know, now the term pauser is coming up because I like to, and it never, you can do a search, it's like it never popped up before until, you know, somebody wanted to find one reason to complain about my videos, and so they started up using the term pauser, which is, you know, again, it's like, this is a group who will do visual novels, and people who do visual novels, they want to use what's called a text hooker or something, and the idea is where you can then highlight words in the story to see what the word means. Makes sense. That's pausing. You're pausing your reading or the audio. You're not continuing on with it. You're looking up something. Okay, you're pausing the narrative in order to find out what the story's about, in a way. And I recommend that. That's a very good way of enjoying the story and kind of learning as you go along, which is why we're kind of saying, this is part of the thing when they're saying with immersion. Now, hence these are the two different levels of active immersion. There's the immersion where, okay, you're just watching it in the native language, but you're actively watching. It's not playing in the background while you're doing something else. It's like you're engaged with the media. Cool, that's active immersion. And then there's the active immersion with lookup. That's where if you don't understand what's going on, you then try to find out. You're not trying to like, imagine if, you got two people sitting in a class, okay? The people who never stick their hand up in the air because they don't get something, that lesson's going over their head. Whereas you got the person who sticks their hand up in the air and says, hey teacher, I got a question here. What do you mean by this? That person's going to then learn. Get more from the lesson because now they're not distracted by the fact that there was something they didn't understand, and they know they didn't understand it. And now their mind is focused on the fact they didn't understand something, and now they're missing the next thing that's popping up. So it is okay to interrupt and hold your hand up and say, hey, what does this mean? But in this case, you're pausing and looking up what a word means. That's all. And they can complain that, okay, hey, I'm using the English dictionary, or it's not a dictionary, it's more of a translating. Yeah, those are more translations. Makes sense, I usually do it if I see, hey, there's like a long definition, or it's like, okay, it looks like this is an abstract concept. I'm not going to try to figure out what the abstract of it is. I'm just going to then look up what the direct meaning, what a direct translation would look like. That's just all. Anyway, that's my take on it. However you want to look at it, it's up to you. Don't let the critique of others or the supposed the opinions of others be the thing that runs both your improvement in the language, but also your enjoyment. If I'm enjoying watching, I enjoy reading books like this. I enjoy watching shows like this. It's kind of cool because I know, like, hey, I'm looking up less now than I was before. But if I was going to do this with something simple like a slice of life drama, but if I'm doing it with something a little complicated, Steins Gate, I gotta look up more because again, it's a complicated subject. Again, I haven't learned scientific terminologies yet. And to me, that makes sense. And then, I'm not going to worry that someone else is going to say, oh, I know this, and he doesn't, so he's a moron. It's like, yeah, no, you're only picking that one thing. And if we wanted to go head to head with competition on a random assortment of things, all right, we'll see how that goes. And again, it just means that, okay, you're good on the random assortment of things. Fine. No sweat off my balls. I don't care. You learn. I learned long ago. I compare myself to someone I want to be better than. I'm not trying to compare myself to someone I'm better than at something, because then I've got very little to learn from that person. I wouldn't mind bringing them up to my level. That's how I look at it. It's like, if someone's not at my level, I want to bring them up to my level. And if I'm not at somebody else's level, I'm kind of like, okay, that's the person they need to go and catch up with. That's how you kind of improve not only yourself but other people. That's how I look at it. And also know it's like not everyone's going to be better than you at everything. So you got to like also then look around for other things to keep pushing yourself further along. Be better than the person you were yesterday. All right, enough of that with the little blog spot. Let me go and start doing let's start reading the news. K2K White Mouse with the little raising our hand image. That's cute. All right. So basic idea here. These are news.yahoo.co.jp. Maybe I'll start putting the link in the description for the videos. Yeah, you go there. If you do this daily, this actually be a good thing to do once, for like 30 minutes to an hour daily. And just read through the Japanese news while it plays. All right, so let's do a quick refresh. Okay. Banikon, Nijikon, and a rainbow. Okay, so I guess it's a Japanese band or group. Stop that.
女性アイドルの SNS に殺しますよなどと書き込んで脅したとしてファンクラブの会員の男が逮捕されました。 横山俊文容疑者は4月、
横山里文俊文や俊文横山俊文容疑者。
アイドルグループ虹のコンキスタドールのメンバー、
Ah, Mijino Conquistador. That should be not butterfly. I thought that was a rainbow. Yeah, rainbow. Mijino Conquistador no member.
中村あかりさんのツイッターに脅迫する内容を書き込んで脅し、所属事務所の業務を
所属義務所の業務。
妨害した疑いが持たれています。
妨害。interfering with business。
警視庁によりますと横山容疑者は、仕事を辞めてくれないと家族やメンバーを道連れにしますよ、理解できないなら殺しますよなどと書き込んでいました。横山容疑者はファンクラブの会員で、警視庁は動機などを詳しく調べています。
Stalkers, gotta love them. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, number 2. Yeah. It's a 2-minute segment. I'm gonna skip that one. Let's see what number 3 is. Okay. Oh, okay. 500. Okay, so that's like 5,000. Really, $5,000 in equipment, construction equipment. That sounds kind of cheap. You'd think that would be a lot more. All right, let's find out.
窃盗などの疑いで逮捕され、
京崎市のマンションの新築工事新築工事現場に侵入し電動電動ノコギリなど相当。Okay. $5,000 in construction tools, or yeah, let's go.
窃盗などの疑いで逮捕されたのは川崎市の無職村上正史容疑者です。
正史村上正史容疑者です。
捜査関係者によりますと、村上容疑者は今年4月15日から翌朝にかけて川崎市のマンション新築工事現場に侵入し、電動ノコギリなどの工具8点56万円相当を盗んだ疑いが持たれています。村上容疑者は工事現場の養生シートを剥がして侵入していて、
養生シートOkay. Protection sheet. Guess that white sheet.
取り調べに対し間違いありませんと容疑を認めているということです。盗んだ工具は自宅付近の買い取り業者に転売していたとみられ、警視庁は余罪についても調べています。
Okay. All right, I'm looking for other charges. So he admitted to it. So If you notice here, it's very common for them to say the name and the company that they work for. In this case, this guy is unemployed, so they just say like a Mushoku. I don't notice that with American broadcasts, but it's a very common thing to like list the company this person happens to be working for, which I can now understand. Like, if you get in trouble, companies are going to fire you quick. Because now their name's in the news. Alright, let's see what's number 4. Okay, yeah, we can do that one. Oh no! Oh no, no, oh no, this is going to be a... Okay, warning here, this may be about the death of a child, so
茨城県つくば市の駐車場。最高気温 27.8 度となった昨日。
女の子はこちらの駐車場の車内でぐったりとしていたということです。
車の中で
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is...
2歳の女の子が見つかった駐車場は小学校の敷地内でした。警察によりますと、昨日午前8時ごろ、父親は小学生の長女を学校に送るため、一緒に2歳の女の子も車に乗せたといいます。その後、長女を送り、自宅に帰った父親が始めたのは在宅勤務。
Work from home? Telecommuting, okay. 勤務。在宅勤務。
しかしその間、女の子は車から降ろされることなく、自宅の駐車場で放置されていたといいます。父親が女の子に気がついたのは、およそ7時間後の午後3時過ぎ。女の子を車の後部座席に乗せたまま、長女を小学校に迎えに行った後、車内でぐったりしている女の子を発見。父親は女の子の名前を叫んだといいます。警察の任意聴取に父親は、保育園に送って行ったつもりだった。という趣旨のことを話しているということです。女の子はその後、死亡が確認されました。警察は司法解剖をして、
司法解剖。司法解剖。
女の子の死因を特定するとしています。
This is like as my biggest fucking fear as a parent. Jesus Christ, that was because I operate like like a few people. Like you ever like I've done where you absentmindedly think about doing something, you just completely forget about something till like later. That's always been my biggest fear, is like accidentally forgetting a kid. My kid was in the car or something. I mean, it's similar to like when you're backing out. You just always have that fear, like your child might sneak out and like, or maybe playing behind the car. You don't realize that. I mean, these are all this. And this isn't like a unique fear for myself. I know many parents have this fear, and so it's it just you work on just almost, you're on autopilot. You completely forget something, and you don't realize it. It's just put up a child in a child's seat. And you just completely forget about it, because she's behind you, and you just maybe maybe she fell asleep and you just didn't think about it, and just you completely forgot that you're not the one who normally takes her to the preschool, so you don't take them to the preschool. You don't think about that, you forgot that you forgot, and it's just wow. And it's not a unique story as well. Like I say, this has happened many places around the world. It's horrific. Okay, sorry about that. It's just kind of knew it once I saw the title. Seven hours, Jesus. Yadism? Does it work in humidity? Mureru. No steaming. See what we got.
ユニクロが今日発売した
Okay. 本格的の夏。Okay. Okay, cool. So masks are good for humidity. Good. Don't, fog up or something, I guess.
ユニクロが今日発売したエアリズムマスクは年間を通して使えるよう肌着などに使用される
肌着など、skin-like underwear.
蒸れにくい素材で作られ、洗って繰り返し使用できます。東京銀座の店舗には雨の中、開店前から列ができ、10時半にはおよそ300人が並びました。行列での密を避けるため、購入希望者には整理券が配られ、指定された時間に商品を受け取る方式が取られました。
なんか息吸い込んだら若干ひんやりする感じが。
ひんやり。ひんやりする感じ。
これから熱中症になるって聞いたので。
熱中症。I guess that's a summer sickness. It feels sick from the summer heat. I think that's what that is. Yeah, heat stroke. 熱中症。
これつけて歩いてみようかなと思って。
ユニクロでは毎週50万パック販売するということですが、イオンは現在ネットのみで販売している冷やマスクを来月から店頭でも発売します。
Okay, yeah, and that's going to be important for the summertime, because those, the thicker masks for the wintertime, yeah, it's just, yeah, in fact, I'll say it, like, I was, trying to go to the gym and wear that mask while on the treadmill or something is hard, because it feels like, you just can't breathe. I mean, your body just is rejecting it because it's just not able to get the oxygen it wants. So it's, okay, what is the time now? Yeah, we still got time. Let's go with, number 6. What's happening with North Korea? All right, North Korea. So, Shutainzu Gunji. Shutainzu Gunji Chohatsu challenged. Gunji Chohatsu ka sarani. Kongozan. Kongozan. Okay. All right, that's interesting. Let's see what this is. What's going on here?
北朝鮮がおととい爆破した南北連絡事務所のあるケソン工業団地に50人から100人規模の北朝鮮の兵士が入ったと韓国メディアが報じました。韓国のテレビ局 SBS は韓国軍関係者などの話として 南北連絡事務所の爆破後に50人から100人規模の朝鮮人民軍の兵士がケソン工業団地に入ったと報じました。部隊駐留に向けた先発
駐留隊駐留先発隊
の可能性が高いとしています。朝鮮人民軍は昨日ケソン工業団地と韓国と共同で観光事業を行っていたクムガン山に軍を進めると表明していて、韓国軍は進軍すれば北朝鮮は代価を払うことになると警告しています。韓国政府関係者は FNN の取材に対し、ケソンで動きがあった。北朝鮮は次に韓国企業がクムガン山に建設したホテルを破壊する可能性があると話しています。
Okay, what is it? Almost 30 minutes? We'll do one more, just for S&Gs. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me see. Bakudai. Cool. Predicting an explosion. Hate burning, okay. Yogateki. So Bakugai? Bakuha. Bakuha yokoku. Bakuha yokoku. Alright, let's see what we got.
アメリカで人種差別に対する抗議活動が続く中、
抗議活動続く中。
カリフォルニア州の日本人経営の店が爆破予告を受けたことが分かり、現地の日本総領事館が注意を呼びかけています。15日早朝、トーランス市で日本人経営の調理器具の店に
調理器具 OK。
日本に帰れ、言うことを聞かないと爆破するなどと書かれた脅迫文が貼られているのが見つかりました。
脅迫文。
警察は日本人に向けたヘイトクライム、憎悪犯罪の疑いがあるとみて捜査しています。
That's a weird font. On the bright side, if it's printed out, then that means that there's indicators on the paper of what printer was used, which can help track down who's the dumbass that printed it.
初めてなんですね。だから今まで一回もなかったんで、こういうふうな今のこのね、ブラック・ライブズなんだっけマターか、っていう流れから、まあ、ここに来てるのかなっていう。
日系企業が多く集まるトーランス市では
日系企業トランス市
先週アジア系女性が差別的な暴言を浴びせられる事件も起きていて、日本総領事館は最近の反人種差別運動に呼応してさまざまな事件が発生しているとして注意を呼びかけています。
Okay. That looks weird. I don't know. There's something weird about that story. Okay, anyway. There we go. Yeah, I would say if you do this on a daily, I think, try to catch up and whatever you can, like in a half hour to an hour's worth of, read the news, catch up, and look at what you know. You start like Yogisha. Jesus Christ, I say Yogisha all the time. So yeah, or the case that's like the police are going to continue to investigate. So you start hearing these phrases over and over again. So that's kind of cool on the repetition there. Now there are like the part about talking about North Korea and the destruction of that one building. Then that one's more difficult. Yeah, you got others that are simple, and then some are just difficult as emotionally to experience to read. But you can skip those if you know. Hey, ahead of time it's going to be you're going to have a negative impact on you. Just skip it. You're not forced to have to look through everything. Yeah, so that's yeah. If you really want a good copy pasta to read, give you nightmares. Look up Autopilot, and yeah, that was. It falls on that story. It's just a very difficult read as well. But yeah, it's always a fear, like because I'm absent-minded. I am super absent-minded. So it's always a fear, like, hey, if I know something like super important, I have to you got to take measures to make sure you don't forget. You can't just say, hey, just don't forget. It's like, well, why didn't I think of that? It's not. If your mind doesn't work in that way, you have to then set a measure. Like for me, kind of like if I have to go. If I would have to go out drinking or something, I would set my alarm to go off on every half hour, right? So I'm reminded like what the time is. I don't let the time get away from me, for example, because I know like if I having fun and I am drinking, then I'm going to forget the time and stay out later than I was planning, and if and I'm one of those guys that if I do drink too much, I don't pass out really unless I'm was already tired to begin with. So I would kind of I would get beyond the point of super drunk, so it's like you got to be careful about that, and yeah, so there's things I got to be wary of. It's just a matter of if you know what your weaknesses are, setting up things that can help protect against it. Even if it's something as maybe it could be something maybe just have a band or something, Velcro to your wrist or something when you're driving the car to remind you that, hey, the kid's in the back. So you can't leave without that Velcro. And oh yeah, I gotta, for example, take it on keep it on while the child's in the car, or now there's maybe a technical solutions to it where, hey, if there's like if the car is turned off, your phone needs to be activated. Hey, look, there's your child's seat is still, sensors on the child's seat still going off, as in someone's still in the seat. For an example, that could help. You know, there's all sorts of ways to, you know, because it's unfortunately it's an event that's going to happen in the future, and it's obviously more dangerous in the summertime than in the wintertime. You know, and once you forgot about it, it's like yeah, it's just there's no other way around it. It's gonna be long hours before discovered, depending on where they're parked. Yeah, it's. And like I said, this is not a parent that was being an abusive, like the type that would leave their kids in a car so they can go out to gamble or something, which you hear stories like that occasionally. This was an unfortunate thing that just happened. It is an accident. It was through negligence, but not criminal negligence. But yeah, it's just, something just horrifying. So, okay, enough of the negative stuff. Let's go on with the story. See, we're at 36 minutes. We'll see if I can get 2 episodes in or not. Well, time will tell. Hey, you're dead.
じゃあ、オカリン、なぜ？なぜだ？ある。実体はある。幽霊ではないのか？
己は警察に突き出されたいか？
俺は真実を知りたいだけだ。刺されたのは確か。
何が真実よ？バカなの？死ぬの？
ルイスちゃんの名台詞来たこれ。俺は確かに見たのだ。お前が刺されているの。3時間ほど前、ラジカンの中町博士記者会見を行う。リン、妄想はチラ裏だけにしとけって中町博士の。
チラ裏。
会見は中止になったっしょ。
Okay, all right.
しかし、
マキセさん、そろそろお時間です。
はい。
待て、逃げるのか。
あなたは。
あなたではない。法院。今日まだ。
降臨。
本日はお集まりいただきましてありがとうございます。このような講演はなかなか経験がないため不慣れな点もあるかと思いますが、よろしくお願いします。
講師、マキセ・クリスだったんだ。
マキセ、マキセ。キリサ、アカリサ、アクリス、アクリス。
やはり幽霊ではないのか。
マククリス。No, that spirit. 幽霊。やはり幽霊ではない。
ダイトルン。
今回タイムマシンをテーマに話してほしいと言われました。サイエンシーに載せていただいた論文のテーマとは異なりますが。
サイエンシー。
頑張って話してみようと思います。
タイムマシン。
私の結論から言ってしまうと、タイムマシンなんていうのはバカらしい代物だということです。なぜ
し物白物
と結論付けられるか、これから考察しながら。
考察。考察しながら。
意義あり。
意義あり What? 意義道義。
タイムマシンが作れない。決めつけは早計だ。
決めつけは早
計。おかり無茶しやがって。
あなたは早計というより理論上否定されるべきものではないかというのが私の見解なのですが。
なんだと。
ではディスカッション形式にしましょうか。
いいですか。Discussion. What's the matter with So Don? Why is it saying discussion? Jesus Christ. 形式。Existence 形式。Discussion 形式しましょうか。K2K White House, what browser extension are you using? This is Yomi-chan. That's also nothing complicated there.
その方が頭の固いお方にもご理解いただけそうですし。ねえ、法王院京馬さん。
京馬さん、法王院京馬さん。
ああ。マキセクリス。
マキセクリス。クリス。Gotcha. マキセクリス。
以上において宇宙紐理論におけるタイムトラベルは現実的ではありませんが、挑戦してみます？法王院さん。そうですね。じゃあエキゾチック物質。
エキゾチック。エキゾチック。エキゾチック。エキゾチック。エキゾチック。Now, this is a word like there. Let me just stop and give. You have some people who are trying to learn Japanese and they like. There's some people, I don't know why, they feel like, oh, they don't want to bother learning any katakana words at all. As in, they're going to assume just by looking at it, they're going to magically know what the word is and magically know how to pronounce it. Ekizochiku. Now, exotic and exochiku. Maybe you could have pieced it together. I don't think so. But just treat all the words as they come along. Like, again, the way in which I'm learning it now, it's like, hey, a word pops up. And, if I'm using Morphman, if I can't figure out what the word is by looking at it, then yeah, I need to learn it. That's all. There's nothing complicated there. It's not like you're saving time by just, because at least with Morphman, there's a very simple thing. Either suspend the card or hit K and presses known and suspends all the other cards that are using that word as its I+1. And that's makes things simple in my opinion. So that way you do know if you need to spend some time learning a word like this one, I'm probably going to forget the ekizochiku is exotic later on. Maybe not, but kind of trust in the system. Don't try to think ahead of time like, oh, this will speed things up. Probably not, because unfortunately with Japanese, loan words are becoming more and more of the rule. So you just have to, even if there's like exotic, there's definitely Japanese words, a proper Japanese word for exotic or discussion. Okay.
見つけてくださいよ、法王院さん。 以上で私の話は終わりですが、それでも反論があるなら聞きますよ。ハーインさん。
もうちょっと天才だからと言い気になりよって待てよ、あの小娘、おそらくは機関のエージェント。この抗議そのものが周到に仕組まれた俺への精神攻撃だ。
周到に
とその手には乗らぬわ。
See, that's a phrase. 漆原。
キュー、あと1回。せーの。シュー。ルカ君すごい。
ルカ、漆原、
オカリントゥットゥルー。岡部さん、いえ、京馬さん。
合言葉を忘れているぞ、ルカ公
エルプサイコ。
エルプサイ。
コンガリー。
コングルーだ。
コングルー。コングルンス。エピサイコングルーだ。
すみません。
それで荷物というのは？
ここだよ。ごめんね。マユシ一人では持てそうになかったのです。父がもらってきて、うちでは食べきれないので。
そうか。ラボへの食料提供感謝する。ラボ面の士気も上がることだろう。
よかったです。喜んでもらえて。
いや、その。
ルカ君毎日素振り続けてるんだよね。
素振り？うん。素振り続けてるんだよね。
はい。京馬さんとの約束なので。
用途サミダレは
用途5月サミダレ。5 month rain. So you early summer rain. サミダレ。用途サミダレ。要素サミダレ。
ルカ子がふさわしい使い手と感知したときに。
ふさわしい。似合う。ふさわしい使い手だ。
真の力を発揮する。
発揮する。真の力を発揮する。
忘れるなよ。
はい。そんな剣が武器屋本舗で980円なんて。お買い得だったね。
では鍛錬の成果を見せてもらおう。
鍛錬。That's forging, tempering, right? 鍛錬。
お祓いはできるか？
一応。でもちゃんとしたお祓いならお父さんの方が。
我が右腕に取り付いた。
悪霊 possession。糸のたたりをする。Oh, yeah, I think it's possession. Evil spirit. 悪霊が。
早くお祓いを。あの力が全身を動かす前に。
この前と手が逆だよ。
今日は悪霊がこっちに取り付いたのだ。漆原ルカ、声も仕草も女。
漆原ルカ。声も仕草。声も仕草。
何しか見えない。いや、女より女らしい美少女。
What if that's a phrase itself?
だが男だ。前より背は高いが、体つきはとても細い。だが男だ。巫女服が似合っている。だが男だ。もう夕暮れだというのに暑いな。セミが鳴いている。
I tell you what, if you're so scared of the idea that, she's a guy, it's like, oh, you found the character attractive, then you found it's a guy, now it's not unattractive. Just realize it was drawn by a guy. A guy drew the picture. Okay, so you're actually attracted to someone that decorated a piece of paper. You're attracted to something that a man decorated as a piece of paper. Think about it. So are you really attracted to the artwork of to the man that drew the picture when you think about it? Because it's his mind that created it. Same as if you think, no, that's not a problem. Okay, cool. Well, if you realize that, this is let's imagine someone that's kind of dressing like a woman, dressing as a woman, or whatnot, whether or not they feel that they're a woman or not, just that they're trying to appear attractive, given a societal standard, what is attractive for women, then is that a negative? Is that what? Because again, you're going off the appearance. So again, the appearance was to give this thing that's supposed to be attractive. That's why there shouldn't be a problem seeing that as attractive. In this case, it's an image on a piece of paper or celluloid or whatever it is, and whatnot. And the hand that had the agency in creating that. Do you really care about that person's gender? Really, you shouldn't. All right, so you got to get over that type of mindset. And I just thought this was kind of funny that, I was assuming it was, and it. Maybe it's like, okay, she sees herself as a female. I don't know if she sees herself as a female or not, or he sees himself as someone who enjoys dressing looking like a female. So it depends on, how the person views themselves, which is not a problem. And then, but biologically, male. That's not a problem either. Because again, biology and how one sees oneself emotionally can be definitely separate things, because, all right. Because again, we got this crazy scientist here, guys. So he sees himself as something that he really is not. Let's keep going. Sorry about that.
だが男だ。
バイバイ。ルカ君お祓いできるなんてすごいね。
神社の息子だからな。
わざだ。ごめん。
通行止めか。
ここ通るとラジカンの裏だからね。
ラジカン。
Pocket watch. How do you pronounce that? Kaichu toke. Kaichu toke.
それもこっちによこせ。バイトの時間だろ。ほれ。
ありがとう。今日はシフト遅いから終わったらそのまま帰っちゃうと思う。
マユリ、お前本当に悲鳴は聞いていないんだな。
悲鳴？いつ？
今日ラジカンでだ。
聞いてないかな。
そうか。 わかった。だったらいい。
変なおかり。
やはり誰一人として覚えてはいない。マユリもダルもマキセ・クリスも。今日は早いのだな、ミスター・ブラウン。
だからその呼び方やめろっつってんだろ。今日はバイトの面接があってな。
バイトこの新規臭くて客もおらず。
新規臭い。
むさいおっさんが店長のこの店に。
おめえな。
誰？
あれ、流行りの挨拶って聞いたんだけど。
まさかバイトというのは？
悪いか。名前は？
天音鈴葉。
天音鈴葉。
年は
18。
志望動機は？
ブラウン管が好きだから。
志望動機、ブラウン管が。
採用。
待て、これはコントか？仕込みか？
そういう君は。
コンテ。コンテンツ。これはコンテだ。
大壁ってんだ。この上に曲がりしてるバカだよ。
大壁ではない。フォー
うっせえ。家賃倍にすんだ。
岡部倫太郎だ。
よろしく。ねえ、その袋は何？
ラボに提供されたインテリジェンスコーンだ。欲しくば。それ相応の対価を。
コーンって小さいつぶつぶの？
つぶつぶ？
へえ、元はこんななんだ。
知らんのか？
見ても。
おっと。多くの人が俺と知り合ったことで機関に狙われた。サラ、クラウディア、シモーヌ。
そうなんだ。よかったら相談に乗るよ。
本気にすんな。こいつの創作だよ。
Makes up stuff？ 創作？それまでなかったもの。
お？
せいぜいそう思い込むがいい。いずれこの世界は俺にひざまずくことになる。
ひざまずく。Oh, have a deal. Kneel before me. ひざまずくことになる。The world will kneel before me.
ああいうのが流行って。
何それ？コーン？スープス？
12時頃落下。マユリたちの言うことに間違いない。
グーロ。
会見は中止。マキセ・クリス事件。俺が見たものは幻だったのか。
幻。I know it's a phantom, but 幻。幻。
ジョン・タイター？
タイムマシンはセルンによって独占されています。
独占。
一般人も企業も手に入れることはできません。彼らは自身の利益のためだけに用いて世界にディストピアをもたらしました。私は未来を変えるためにやってきました。セルンによって作られたディストピアを破壊し、再び自由を手にするためです。
つまりセルンイコール独裁者って言いたいのか？
栗ご飯とカメハメ。トルト？うん。つまりスンイコール独裁者。そう、独裁者。うん、独裁者と言いたい。
いわゆる祖父のパラドックスですね。
The reason why I'm saying about dokusaisha is remember that was a word that was spoken by Mike in Boys Over Flowers. You know, when she was describing Domyoji. この学校の独裁者。
それは存在しません。過去の自分に会うことも可能です。その場合、世界線が移動します。まず時間は過去から未来へと流れる一本の線ではありません。世界線という無数に平行に流れる川のようなもので形成されています。例えば、あなたが今日通り魔に殺されるとします。
通り魔。
それを未来から来た私が防いだとすれば、あなたが殺された世界と生き延びた世界の2つに世界は分岐するというわけです。
分岐する。分岐する。世界は分岐するというわけです。
今度のタイターは日本人か。2000年頃アメリカのネット上に現れた自称タイムトラベラー。2036年から未来の世界を救うためにタイムトラベルしてきたという。当時はネットで大騒ぎになり、関連書もいくつか出た。しかし今ジョン・タイターを語るバカがいるとはな。
Yeah, I mean, it was just a internet prank, so whatnot. Because he did show a photo or two, so that was actually kind of the clue they could figure out who he actually was. He supposedly posted a picture of him shining a laser through his time machine. He saw it kind of was warping the laser, so that was the kind of gave away who he was, if I recall correctly.
このリンクでも見てタイターのことぐらい調べてこい。ダルのやつ、タイターのリンクを消したな。12件。バカな。10年経ったとはいえ、あれだけ騒ぎになったんだぞ。そんなこと。
Yeah, it would be much.
ない。なぜだ。関連書はここに集めていたはず。くそ。もしもし、ダル。
何？今フェリスタンと。
本はどうした？
本って？
ジョン・タイターに関する本だ。本棚にまとめて置いてあっただろう。どこにある？
オカリン。
なんだ？
ジョン・タイターって
ほぼ徹夜で。俺はジョン・タイターについて調べた。ネットの検索を駆使し。
検索。駆使。置いたって。
あらゆる情報を集めた。しかしタイターに答えてほしい。10年前、つまり2000年のことだ。
面白いことを言う人ですね。しかし残念ながら2000年には行ったことはありません。またその予定もありません。
おい待て。ウェイウェイウェイ、そこのお前、いやあなた、待て。待ってください。今俺を取ったな。すぐ削除した方が身のためだ。
謝る。不快な思いをさせたのなら。
何を取っていたのだ。
証明。自分が今日どこを歩いて何を見たか。聞きたいことがある。
Wait, what's her name? Aya. Kizashi Aya? No, no, yeah. 聞きたいことがある。
これ。
That's what John Titor was looking for. Right?
ずいぶん古いパソコンだな。
No, wait. He was looking for actually something from the 70s, not the 80s. I haven't read up on John Titor in a while, so it's never mind. Let the story reveal it. Never mind.
知ってる？
いや。
詳しい人は？
あるいはダルなら。
その人誰？
貴様には関係ない。写真は削除するように。
教えて、メアド。その人の。
断る。貴様、脅そうというのか。
教えてくれたら消す。
いいだろう。ただし仲間を売るわけにはいかん。教えるのは俺のメアドだ。
名前は？
法王院京馬と書いてあるだろう。
Obviously, you gotta look at the image in order for it to be funny. But yeah. Oboin, Kyoma.
風。カラメールを送れ。こっちから送り返す。
Makes more sense.
おかえりなさいませ、ご主人様。ああ、オカリンだ。おかえりなさいませ、オカリン。
よ、マユリ。
バイト中はマユシーニャンニャンだよ。そういえばオカリンとおかえりは似てるね。
One of these days, someone I don't think they've ever satisfactorily explained to me the draw of a maid cafe. I went to one once, but only because it was where it was in Akihabara, but where they were doing a virtual. This is back when the number of Oculus Rifts were like the DK1 was being released, and so like the number of people who have virtual reality headsets was like very small, so you had to kind of go to these places in order to just to see some things being demonstrated. And I guess because it was actually just a bunch of people there, maybe I didn't see what the Maid Cafe had to offer, but just everything I've seen in everything I'm seeing just doesn't seem that interesting. Kind of like when if you go to a host club, I don't see the draw of it. Okay, great, nice. Okay, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like maybe there's a nice, attractive lady who's pouring your drinks and acting like you're the shit, and all that stuff. But again, once the money dries up, so do they, type thing. I mean, again, they're not there for you; they're there for the money. Much like going to a strip club in the U.S. would be. I guess, okay, yeah, sure, fine. If you compare it to a strip club, but again, I don't really go to a strip club for food, so I don't know. No, although you do hear now, it's they say, hey, there's pretty good buffets at the strip clubs, so maybe there's that. I could be wrong there. So, I mean, hey, I'm not anyone to tell somebody how to spend their money and whatnot, or where someone could work. So again, it's honest money to be made there and whatnot, as long as you're not paid the owners are not abusive to the staff and the customers are not abusive to the staff and vice versa. Sure, there's nothing wrong there. It's just not something I personally would go out of my way to try to experience. Let's go on.
誰は？
奥にいるよ。今日待ちかねていたにゃんぞ。3日に
待ちかねていた。待ちかねていたにゃん。
では顔を出す約束どうなったにゃん。
すまない。期間の妨害がひどく。
妨害がひどく。That's something like stop me. 期間の妨害がひどく。
そこまで期間は迫ってるにゃ。では今日も期間打倒のための極秘会議にゃ。
What is? I guess it's a cat thing. Oh, maybe it's because it's like a made cat cafe. I'm guessing that's why they're saying meow all the time. If you ever seen a movie called Super Troopers, the meow scene is kind of reminding me of the meow scene. Now hear this meow.
そうだ。
todoだと今日も期間記憶費 secret meeting, right? 記憶費 top secret meeting 記憶費会議にゃ。
いつものステルスフィールドを頼む。
ステルスフィールド。
勝手にゃ。そんでフェイリスも混ぜてほしいにゃ。
よっ。
ガッテン。
せ、お前が太刀打ちできるほど期間は甘くない。
太刀打ちできる。お前が太刀打ちできるほど。
このフェイリスには禁断の非容疑があるにゃ。
何？フェリス？フェリス？フェリス。費用。禁断、right? 禁断の費用さ。
まさか会得したというのか。
英徳？英徳したというのか。
そのまさかにゃ。ギアナコーチで修行に耐え抜き師匠の死も乗り越えて。
ギアナ境地で。耐え抜き。修行に耐え抜き。師匠。師匠の死ぬ。
フェイリスはついにか手に入れたのに
ゃ。許さない。絶対にだ。
あ。それでメールした件だが。
勝ち組に話したら負けだと思ってる。
勝ち組に話したら。
はあ、安心しろ。嘘で塗り固めた女に興味はない。
Ah, okay. Heavily make-upped women.
今日のお前が言うなすればここですか。黙れ浮気野郎が。二次元の嫁が泣いてるぞ。フェリスタンは別。三次元でも二次元魂を宿してる。おう。
Okay, that was from last time. Sanjiken. Nijiken. Tamashi? Oh, Tamashi. Nijiken Tamashi.
それより見てもらいたい。この写真なんだが。おう。これ IBN5100 っしょ。IBN？ 幻のレトロ PC。
幻レト。Phantom? レト。レトロ。眩のレトロ PC。
1ヶ月くらい前だったかな。秋葉原のどこかに眠っているという噂が流れたからそれ聞きつけてきたんじゃに。それで結局見つからないまま疾風陣雷のナイトハルトまでで。
疾風陣雷。速い風と。Thunder. Thunder and wind. Thunder, lightning, and storms. Subayaku. Basically, this becomes a talk of the town or something, right? With storm, lightning, speed. Okay. Shippujin Dai no Night Horuto. Night Haruto. Night Haruto Made. Devaru.
パってきたけど出てこないってことは元からなかったんじゃねえかってことでファイナルアンサー。そんなに貴重なものなのか。
貴重な。Precious 貴重なものなのか。
発売は今から30年以上前。当時は値段高すぎでパソコンなんて誰も買えない時代。レア度激高ってパターン。
激高。激高って。Sought after.
ふむ。お、さっきの女か。早速メールしました。桐生萌香です。
桐生萌香です。桐生 maybe it's 桐生 say 桐生ともえべ。
20歳。
Wait a minute, let's see if they got the name.
フリーター。嫌だって言ってもしちゃいま。これがさっきの女と同一人物だというのか。どうしたん？お前を売らなかったことに感謝するんだな。貴重な PC だ。秋葉にはない可能性が高い。エル、プサイ、コングルー。
ご主人様、お待たせにゃんにゃん。
うひゃ世界がやばい。きた。いただきます。落ち着けって。大学の研究室で分析を行った結果、ゲルマナは分子レベルで
イルバーナ
ズタズタだということが判明した。
ズタズタ。きれいきれいになるさな。ズタズタということ。判明した。
バナナではない何かになってたと。それやばくね？何が起きてんだろ
う。現状考えられるのは電話レンジカッコ仮の電磁波の影響だな。
Electromagnetic waves, but 電磁波影響。電磁波の影響だな。
ソースは
マッドサイエンティストの勘だ。
根拠なしと。
That's the basis. 根拠なしと。
おっしゃ、接続終わった。
よし、ではこれを使おう。
眉石。
これ眉石のじゃ。
安心しろ。眉から提供された研究費で俺が買ったものだ。
いやだからそれを眉石のって言うね。
さあ二言放り込んで変化を確かめるのだ。
ってこと？
一本でいいだろ上皇。
上皇。一本でいいだろう上皇。
それで電話レンジカッコ仮の真の力を確かめられるのか？
そのカッコ仮ってめんどいからいい加減取るべき。
そうですね、カットって。
実験に金をケチるようでは。世界の支配構造を変えることはできんぞ。
変えたいのはオカリンだけだって。
そうなのか？
そりゃそうっしょ。はい終了。
終了。
お？
どうした？
消えてるバナナが。
バカな！俺だ。緊急要請6665。クーリングオフを発動させろ。
クーリングオフ。I know a secret number. Yosei demand. Oh, urgent request. Q. 緊急要請。緊急要請。俺だ。緊急要請。
政府の承認？そんなことを言ってる場合では。
ジエンオツ。
うるさい。
Wait a minute. Oats? Is that supposed to be the greeting? Oats? Oh, okay, そんなこと言う。
どこに隠した？
隠したのはオカリンだろ
う。そうか、分かったぞ。これはもしやテレポート可能な電子レンジ。
なんだってってそんな無茶な。
ではどう説明する？房からちぎりレンジに入れたはずのバナナを。
消えるバナ。でもさ、房に完全に繋がってね。
ああ、房に完全に。
確かにさっき一本ちぎったよな。
多分
これはやはりテレポート。
そういうことになるん？
興味深い実験してるんですね。
クリス。
岡部倫太郎。いえ、法王院京馬さんでしたっけ？
法王院京馬さんでしたっけ？
マキセ。
マキセ。
クリス。
クリス。Okay, let's see, what's the time right now? 1:25, so start at 1:35, so that's about 40 minutes to get through this. This is, yeah. This was a little easier than the first episode. I think the names are really what's kind of making some of the things difficult. And me maybe stopping in the middle to talk about stuff. It's fun. I like their attitudes and whatnot. So it's goofy and whatnot. And I don't really go to Akihabara. I mean, I haven't been there like, I think years would be I think I could actually say that. I mean, it's been such a long time since I've gone there. Since mainly I go to Tokyo or whatnot. Yeah, I don't go to Tokyo all that much. I go to Yokohama more often than not if I go somewhere outside of Yokosuka. But yeah, I can see it. It's like these are people that's being kind of goofy and silly, and then they just stumbled upon something that was just maybe accidental, something dealing with time travel and alternate dimensions. I like the idea of like. If you can have parallel dimensions, that's possible, and then they're all going at the same time speed as you are, then okay, fine, then it's just hopping dimensions, and then it could be the exact same thing, and then the only thing difference is because you've hopped into it somehow, and then okay, you're the change. So from then on, that point on out, that line of that in that particular universe, time's going to be different. Events are going to be different than in the other universes that we're traveling along the same paths and whatnot. But then you can also have universes where very similar, but time goes at a slightly. I think it says before, it's going at different speeds. So one universe went parallel to this one, and then it was going for some reason speed was going a little faster. Then if you jump to that one, it's almost like you would be jumping back in time, because Well, okay, I take it back. Jumping forward in time, because you go there now. It's at a different point in its timeline than what it would be if it were going at the same speed as your universe. Cool. Or if it's going slower, then it would feel like you're going back in time. And it doesn't have to be like parallel at the point in time you're thinking of. It could have been from any time way back when all the way up to the present. So there can just be infinite numbers of universes. And they're all the same thing, and they're all the same universes. They're all copies of each other, just at different points in time. So if you then start traveling in between, then you've completely changed from that point on what that timeline is. But since there's infinite, really doesn't matter all that much. Just that it just means that. Now the question is like, are there then parallel universes created from those new timelines? And it makes sense that that could happen. The way you can look at it is. Expanding a balloon would be one example of, where the balloon expands, but it's also balloons. It actually leaves balloons inside as well. So it's expanding, but then it's actually new universes created out of the expansion as well. Who knows? And you're thinking, oh, that's so much energy, but it's like because you're thinking of maybe the universe as being one thing, being such an immense amount of energy, but if it's like the equivalent of like an atom. You're not going to look like if they're, however many zeros, Googleplex of atoms in the universe, and obviously there's much less than that in this particular, of our known universe at least, then it's, the question is like, what could be travel? You couldn't physically travel in between universes, but what if you can go off the idea of, if, what is it, what if ideas can travel in between? Even what we think of as ideas is, what was the term for it was, why am I forgetting the term for it, but it's just quantum quantum communication or whatnot. So you can't communicate across the universe because you're stopped by the speed of causality. Cool. But what if you can communicate between universes because you're not really traveling distances? It's just some type of locked state. Since you are having parallel universes, and maybe the quantum state of your mind that happened to be with another universe that was that your mind had been existed, then maybe those are quantum locked. Hence the reason why things go on the same. But if you're able to communicate, find a way to communicate between the two, then that's how you then technically time travel. And that you're not really time traveling, other than going to another universe, experiencing another universe that was just going at a different speed. So if it was a universe that was going a little faster from the point when you are diverged, then it feels like you're traveling forward in time. You've traveled back in time. You didn't communicate it back. Now you've traveled back in time. Well, you actually haven't traveled into time. You just looked at two different experiences that were at different points in. Yeah, I guess the idea would be kind of like if you got a video game and there are like different save points. If you look at the different save points, you're looking near the end of the game or near the beginning of the game, but it's not like. But the save points themselves can't really communicate between each other. I guess it could be one way to look at it. I don't know how this story is going about it. From that little beginning thing where he was looking at all the various timelines, and that may be how they're going to look at it, where you can jump timelines, but then from that point on, though, you can only experience what happens in that timeline, and it doesn't impact the other timelines. It sort of makes sense, sure. It's all sci-fi, so it doesn't matter. There is some thoughts. I think there was some thoughts on one but it was less about communicating between universes, and instead of communicating between the same universe that has expansions and collapses. Basically it restarts its what's the term? Entropy. So at the end of the heat death of the universe or whatnot, so that means there's literally no change. It's all just essentially a void by that point. Then that's zero entropy. Well, if it can be reversed, then they're saying like, well, what if you communicate across these entropy points where entropy ends and then somehow entropy restarts, and then the universe goes over again, restarts over again. Could you communicate between two? I think the recent one on PBS Space Time was talking about that, which I thought was kind of interesting, where leave a message for the next version of the universe. If it ever develops something that can listen to that message, that would be kind of cool. All right. Since it's an hour 30 minutes, I tell you what, I'll just stop this. So we'll keep that going, and I'll just do some reviews. So I'll keep this at just a second episode. I'm going slow, but this was fun. And okay, if it takes me a little longer, so be it. I might start going a little faster. It's it wouldn't be too bad. I could go a little bit over 2 hours of watching the second episode, but I'm not too worried about it. Let me just start up. In the background, what you're hearing is keikon dekinai toko. So since that's the drama I'm currently doing through Morphman, so it's up. This the number 8, number 8 in a series of 19 so far. So I'm slowly catching up to my series. Okay, that up. All right, let's listen. Let it synchronize. And this is the point where, if 4chan DJT, if you're watching this sometime in the future, at this point you can make fun of me because you get to make fun of my reviews because you tend to do that, which is fine. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Okay. All right, and we'll just start with Morphman. Let's try that real quick. Do I have a pen? Let's see if we can do that. Okay, let's do the kanji real quick. tame. Let's see, so it's Osana Najimi. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, Nare, Najimi, Osana Najimi, Najim. And this is one I missed yesterday, so yeah, cleverness. Okay. Income. Again, one I missed yesterday, so that's why it's easier to remember. Being con, sensitive, being jo, agile, a being, sato, kibin, kabin, hypersensitive, kibin, kabin. Good. Crime. Okay, cool. And okasu, yeah, because that was a word that popped up in the last episode. Hanzai, hanin, okasu, commit a crime, and hanko, commit a criminal act. Good. And then trust. Again, another one I missed recently. So that's Spider-Man. His specialty is dressing up people. Cool. Okay. Baku. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, bakura, tied, baku, strapping, sokobaku, shackles, shibarisuke, tied up, jubaku, the spell. Yeah, okay. Kanashibari, temporary feeling of paralysis. Kanashibari. Ooh, I like that word. Cool. Awesome. Let's go to, what else we want to look at? I tell you what, this is short. Let's look at these two. No big deal. Okay. Monozashi. That's a ruler, that's right. Monozashi.
物差しでその
No, don't give that. Genjitsu or Ganjitsu? I think it's Ganjitsu. Ganjitsu に友達と神社に行った。
元日
元日に友達と神社に行った。
遅め、slower.
遅めな
資格、those are qualifications. 就職のためにはどの資格が必要ですか？
資格。
就職のためにはどんな資格が必要ですか？
宣伝。That's like it's not a proclamation. It is proclamation.
宣伝テレビで製品を宣伝する会社が多い。宣伝する
教授。
法学部の田中教授はとても有名な人だ。
I know that's a professor. I'm drawing a blank on the Jew.
教授。
法学部の田中教授はとても有名な人だ。
教授。法学部の田中教授はとても有名な人です。Now here, by the way, I'm just saying, like, if I don't know how to write it from memory, when I hear the word, I just mark it difficult, unless it's going to put this number here is over 6 months, and I'll miss it. That's how I'm working it right now. 小
雨が降っている。
Okay. Was it しける？しける。
湿る。草が梅雨で湿っている。
挑む。
囲む。
英国は3つの国に囲まれている。
I'll mark it wrong.
湿る。草が梅雨で湿っている。
囲む。
Yeah,
that's fine now. Alright, good. Alright. 2 silly misses. Alright, Morph Man. Here we go. 勝る。勝る。
勝る。
勝る。くぼち。くぼち。くぼち。
くぼち。
くぼちたち。OK。くぼちの。敷地。敷地。敷地。
敷地。
敷地。病院の敷地ない。虚無。
虚無。
虚無。今日は虚無。おいで。確かにおいでになります。なりました。おいで。掲げる。水を掲げる。
掲げる。
掲げる。水を掲げる。けなす。insulting。けなす。
けなす。
けなす。けなしてんの？情けない。being sad。情けない。
情けない。
And by the way, yeah, using pictures as a definition, perfectly fine. In fact, it's probably preferable than an English definition. Tomoru. 伝統が止まって。
灯る。
灯る。I like these sentences. I picked this sentence on purpose because it had dento, since I had that kanji being used, and then that's the reason why I picked the sentence. 聴衆 audience.
聴衆。
聴衆。心底。心底。
心底。
心底。言い聞かせる。convince something.
言い聞かせる。
自分に言い聞かせる。同居。I know it's live together. 同居。
同居。
同居。These are words I learned recently, by the way. So, 依頼 commission. In fact, that was a word. Yeah, 依頼 was in the episode today. 依頼人 or something like that. 依頼。
依頼。
引き抜き。Oh, headhunting.
引き抜き。
引き抜き。ヘッドハンター。遠ざかる。Fading off in the distance.
遠ざかる。
遠ざかる。土くれ。ただの土くれの。made from dirt. 土くれ。
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 I know it's dirt clod. It's pronounced. Let's see, how was I supposed to say it? So it's I'm forgetting it. Takamashi or something like that.
塊。
Katamari. Kata. Let me do my little thing now. Ka. So mosquito. Field. And then ma. Ni. Katamari. Another way you can do it, if you don't want to do that with kata, so shoulder, so kata and then mari. It's like kata wara, so kata mari, so kata mari. Okay, we'll just skip that. Okay, all right, okay, I can visualize that. We kata mari. All right, but I still missed it anyway. Nori, notori. I'll take over. 乗っ取り。
乗っ取り。
乗っ取り。改装。改装している？ロボットなのに改装。
改装。
過ぎ去ったことを振り返り。Think about. Oh, flashback. Okay. 改装。Missed that. 主婦人科。産婦人科 just gynecology. 産婦人科。
産婦人科。
産婦人科と小児科。飛びかける。It's the chase, rush after someone. 飛びかかる。夕日 or 夕上。石曜。It's also 夕日 but we're gonna do it 石曜。石曜。閉店。
閉店。
閉店。個人。No,恩人。恩人。恩人の末。That's someone who helped you out.
恩人。
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 ずつみんなに花を一本。ずつ each and every one. ずつ。Kind of odd. Yeah, okay. 所詮手編みのセットだな。
所詮。
車両。Yeah, 取り囲む is to surround someone.
取り囲む。
Here's
取り囲む。
Yeah, so there's a little picture of it if I wanted to look at it. So 早速 quickly
即刻
got it wrong 即刻寒ける背ける少し顔を背ける Oh, that means look away, okay 背ける make sure yeah, turn away 背ける Why isn't that Is there no audio for that? Yeah, there is audio for that. Okay.
背ける。
背ける。Good.頻繁. That's quickly, right? Why am I thinking that's quickly? Oh, frequently. I'm an idiot. Okay.
頻繁。
頻繁。後ろ姿。Okay. そうですね。後ろ姿。Alright. So it's 数字。確かに数字から。Oh, from the source.
金。
数字から。窓際。by the way.
窓際。
盛大。招待している盛大な。Okay, so very big or extravagant.
盛大。
flourishing. 盛大な。京馬。Is it 京馬? I think it's 京馬がハマってたんだ。
競馬。
God damn it, 競馬。Okay. 飛躍。secret ingredient. Secret herb. 例えば、飛躍と。
飛躍。
これが予想被害。Oh, I know that's the 石印 the area of the impact. 石印
範囲。
改 Aratamete. Aratamete. So, once again.
改めて。
改めて。それじゃあ、俺は改めて失礼します。かき混ぜる。かき混ぜる。I know it's mixing up. かき混ぜる。
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 And there's a picture for it, so makes it obvious. I still put the Japanese definition first if it exists, which normally it does. Katamaru. I think that is katamaru. To stride something. Katagaru. Kataga. Mataga. Mataga. Kata. Mata. Mataga. Mataga. Kata. Matagaru. Missed that one. Taeru. Forging. Make stronger.
鍛える。
鍛える. Yeah. That's why we're doing this. So, and again, I'm not doing it just like, do I know what this word means? I want to be able to pronounce it. That's why. So, usually if it's a word with kanji, I kind of know what the word means. So that's not the problem. I want to make sure is I know how to pronounce it, how it's read. So that when I am reading, that gets reinforced as well. Because, most stuff you read does not come with kanji. Kitaeru. Kita. Oh, shoga. Ginger. Yeah, that kanji is actually kind of a very simple kanji, but it is not common.
Shoga.
Shoga. And yeah, ginger pork tastes awesome. We had it last night. Danen, like the field. Out in the sticks, Inako.
Denyen.
Denyen. I know it's conjoined. It's kaneru. Kaneru.
Kaneru.
Kaneru. Kaneru. Toma. It's tomo.
Moku.
Okay, I should have silently, but moku. Missed that one. Gisei. This is gisei gyo. Gyoshi. It says gyoshi.
Gyoshi.
Yeah.
Gyoshi.
I know it's staring at something, but Rikutsu, explanation, logic, reasoning. Rikutsu janai. Rikutsu. Katamari. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is. Okay. Kata and then mari.
Katamari. Matagaru. How come?
Oh yeah, there's no audio for that. Matagaru. Kitaeru. Kitaeru. Moku. Kaiso. Flashback.
Kaiso.
Sekio. How come we're not getting audio for this? Let's see. Let me try it. Let's try this one. Nope. Let's try that again. Nope. Alright, so no audio for that. Oh, wait. We got one extra thing we can do. No, that's Yuhi. Can't do that one. We'll include it.
Yuhi,
but also Sekio. Sokkoku na, quickly. Sokkoku haiki. Sokkoku. Haiki shoubun to suru.
Sokkoku.
01は即刻廃棄処分する。即刻廃棄処分とする。競馬にハマってたの。
競馬。
お父さんが範囲。That's it, okay.
範囲。
これが Now, what I haven't been doing, and I don't know why that doesn't have a inseki. Okay, what I haven't been doing, in fact, let me fix that up real quick. Should be a inseki. I assume that's an H. Inseki. Okay. Okay, 隕石の要素。これが隕石の要素。意外範囲。意外範囲。
範囲。
範囲。Yeah, I'm not, and you probably notice like I'm not reading the sentences anymore, which speeds up the reviews. So this stuff went much faster, right? またがある、またがある、またがある。またがある。Let's see, what was that again? Yeah. またがある。鍛える、鍛える、鍛える。
鍛える。
鍛える。鍛える。もくもく。もくもく。
もくもく。
もくもく。Good. All right, and you probably see this, so let me just do the stats real quick. So that was 61 cards, and it took like 14 minutes. So about, I probably could have went a little faster, but I was talking. And so yeah, that's why these can go a lot faster, because I started to realize the sentences, I don't really give a damn about the sentences so much as in the vocabulary the sentences come with. I'm using the sentences as context. So if I don't need the context, I'm not going to worry about the context. If I can just see it by using the word. However, it's there if I need it. And if I do need the context, I have no problem where, oh God, I needed the sentence to know what the word means. I have no problem with that. The only exception is I need to know how to pronounce the word by itself. I should be able to do that. So by itself, I should know how to pronounce the word. If I do need the context of the sentence in order to pronounce the word, I'm reminded like how it's supposed to be said, I mark it as difficult. That's the only exception there, to try to get stuff there. And since I did that, the reviews are much faster, which leaves time for if I want to do learning more words. Now, what I am noticing when I'm adding words, when I'm reviewing stuff, it's taking me about to build up to 10 words. Like I haven't found 10 words. I look for 10 words because I'm using Morphman. So when I'm doing in fact, let me just show you real quick. Let me just do one quick study. Custom study, we'll say 10 cards. All right, so I'm trying to add 10 cards, right? So, and it's not automatic. I add it when I'm done. So I say, hey, I want to learn 10 extra cards, and then that's when I'm going to start. So let me just show you a real quick study now. And I'm not going to learn anything, but I'm just showing you what he's got to catch up. Did it lock? Freeze? God, I hope not. That would be annoying. There we are. Okay, so is it moto no or hon no? So hon no page yo. So that's a book. Hon no, so it's a book's page. So who cares? I already know this, right? I just press K. All those times. Now is this nanisei or nansei? Nansei. Nansei koi koitsu no kitaeta no. And let's say, okay, now what I would probably do is I hit Control S and look at it, but I can look at some other sentences. This one in particular, I'm just going to let's just toggle suspend. I'm just going to actually just suspend those anyway. Okay, memory. So it's memory, right? So just suspend. I don't even press suspend. I just press K. So now it's a known word. So that's a word I know. I just now Anki knows it. So I can then go to browse here, for example. Go to down here to known. Right? And so these are all sentences where I've pressed K on. And since I'm doing here, let me do by sort field. All right. So when you okay, so 800 cards are marked as known for whatever reason. I don't know why this is. Why are you marked known? Okay, so tome, so that's clear, tome case. So why do I need to know that? It's these are expressions. So these, they don't really count. Kitsui, like tight. Console, yeah. Your thoughts on the process. Nuggets, get or throw at someone. Right. So these are words where I didn't have to learn them. I just marked K because I already knew it, either through reading or through some other reason, not that came up in Anki study. I knew these words. So, there's some of these are repeats of each other, I'm pretty sure. But, we got stuff from more recently, yada yada. Are you really, dog? So that's dog food. Come on, that's dog, obviously. Attached to something, tsuki, or kind of stuck to something. Veranda, a veranda, So these are words that are easy. These are gimmies. So it's not just that I've got 720. I think it was like, let's look at the stats real quick. So this is my Morph Man deck, right? And let's go down to the actual thing that matters. Okay, so look, in here are 17,000 cards, okay, that are not seen. That's my sentence bank. And these sentence banks are all I+1 or higher. All right, so of these, I think it's like 90,000 sentences. Of these 90,000 sentence cards that I've put into Morphman, majority, 70,000 of them were just done, tossed away, don't need them. All right, so now I'm left with 17 or almost 18,000 cards that are in the sentence bank, right, that I can refer to. And it's going to get bigger, by the way. Like today, a couple days ago, or actually it was yesterday, I recently added about 7,000, almost 8,000 cards. But then I ran the Morphman calculations or whatnot, did that, and then I said, hey, show me the I+0 cards. Show them the words that I suppose I already know all the words in the sentences. Cool. And don't get rid of the ones that are known, that are marked known, because those are very important cards. So I'm not like looking at the same words I already know. Cool. And then I deleted so of those 8,000 cards, I deleted 6,000 were removed. So I've added only 2,000 extra cards. And of those 2,000 extra cards, there's probably a lot of them that are actually I+0. It just, Morphman doesn't know it yet. I'm going to tell it as it shows me a word as like, hey, I already know that word. Cool. Then all those I+1 sentences that had that word, I'll be getting rid of them later. So who cares? That's the beauty of Morphman, where you don't have to worry about, oh my god, how can I get it to where it doesn't show me any katakana only words. It's like, don't do that, just because it might be useful to learn that katakana word, because it could be a word you will not know unless you look up the meaning, right? That's right. So just say, hey, look, if you already know it, you can figure out by reading the word, hit K, you're done. Let Morphman, trust in the system a little bit, and it should be quite fun. So yeah, there I am, and let's see. So we got, what is that? 720 words. So 800 are known, marked known, and then 720 are words in which I'm actively studying or reviewing. That's it. So it's not a very big number. It's like what, 1,500. Right, not a big deal. And then there's, there are already stuff from the Tango decks that I already have, and the stuff from Core 2K that I already learned, and some of the stuff from the grammar, like Take Him stuff and whatnot in the Shinkansen. So there's other stuff I used that I'm, count as knowing words. So it's not a big deal. Cool. Alrighty. And that's why this number here, I mean, I'm not a slave to this number. I'm not like, as it gets higher, that's kind of nice to know. Like, and this grows a little faster than, because usually by the time I get through 10 cards, I've pressed known about anywhere from 2 to 10 times as well. So it's like, that goes up higher, because again, it counts known words, cards you mark known, and cards that you've actually are learning. So it's, and yeah, variance is 14,000. So that means as you're reading, yeah, you can, that the variances count. Because let's say if you know a word that's in here in kanji, most likely you're going to know it's hiragana variant. The reverse isn't necessarily true, but or variance as in how it's conjugated. Those are variances, because a conjugation of a word sometimes counts as a unique word itself. All right, but they're trying not to count that as what they're trying to show you, so that's why it's counted as a variant. But it's important because those are going to be issues with vocabulary. All right, I think hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully my little spiel made sense. Usually it's not, unfortunately it's not a good idea if you don't like, it's easy to make fun of a person if you can see what they've studied, what they get wrong. So it's easy, they just look at something, oh, he missed something word. So obviously he doesn't know any Japanese at all, which, you know, it's idiotic when you, that's an idiotic line of thinking. It's a trollish way of thinking. You know, it's basically arguing out of arguing in bad faith. But at the same time, I think it is useful to occasionally, you know, show where I'm at, because again, my study habits are horrible. I'm not consistent. I'm trying to be, but I'm not consistent. I mean, you can just look at the deck here, and you know, these are light pale days where I did like 10 or 12 cards, right? That was just me probably just like doing something in Anki, so it doesn't count as a lost day or something. Not that it mattered. But also this, you know, I haven't been doing this let's read like I should be doing every day, which would be, you know, imagine if I was reading every day for, you know, a couple hours, you know, consistently like this, I would be in a much better shape. And I know that because when I have been doing the reading consistently, I get better. And I know I get better because it just, the sense or feeling of watching a show or reading a book just gets better and better the more I do it, which is a good feeling, by the way. Yeah, so it just build up. And the cool thing about all this also, there's a very structured way to get up to that point. And it's not difficult, it's just time. You gotta give time to it. And it's not like, oh, you can do this in 3 months or 6 months or a year. It's like you gotta look at it in hours, all right? And the more hours you put into it per day, then obviously the less number of days you can accomplish a goal. You know, if you, because you're a working adult, you can't put in 8 hours a day of learning Japanese or reading and watching Japanese, and maybe you can only do like 2 to 3 hours. Well, then guess what? You'll expect it to take more days, more months to get to the same goal, but you're still going to get there. All right, that's, you know, Anki helps, consistency helps, and you'll be fine. And careful about comparing your how you get your improvements to other people. Careful about that. It is useful because if you're seeing, hey, someone who's doing the same amount of effort as you are, but they're getting better faster somehow, then yeah, maybe look at what they're doing, because maybe they're doing something right that you're not doing. Or you know, you might look at them as like, oh, well, they don't give a shit about the reading aspect. They only care about the listening. Well, okay, that's going to speed stuff up. It might make it more difficult when it comes to reading, but that was their choice. Or, you know, maybe another option is that, hey, they're actually doing a lot more. They're actually doing a lot more than they were telling you. Like, yeah, they were like reading for a couple hours a day, doing Anki for a couple hours a day, and then for the immersion, you know, reading books or manga or whatnot for like 3 to 5 hours a day. That's a lot of time with Japanese. All right, but if they're only telling you like, oh, they're only spending 2 hours a day of study, well, yeah, but the other stuff is studying as well. You know, you can't just ignore that. So if you're not to their level, even though you spent like at what their level was in 6 months, but after you reached 6 months, well, yeah, you can expect that, because again, you gave a rational comparison. And so for them, maybe look at where they were at at the 3 month mark, for example. Just something to think about, and don't sweat it, by the way. And careful about the toxic nature of people, and that you're going to have this group of people that only want to tear you down. All right, like if I came up here and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, and I don't speak a word of Japanese, I'm just saying, hey, this is what I've been doing in learning Japanese. Invariably, you're going to get these assholes. They're going to post, well, how come you're not doing anything? How come you're not saying anything in Japanese? Because it wasn't the purpose of the video, dumbass. Okay, it was about what I'm doing to learn Japanese, not a demonstration of my Japanese ability. Okay, that wasn't the point. And even if I did demonstrate something of a Japanese ability, you're not going to care about the 90% that's correct. You're going to hone in on, or 90 to 95%. You're going to hone in on the 5% that wasn't, and only care about that, and say somehow that is what justifies ignoring everything else. Because again, that's someone who's more toxic. You know, you see, it's not just in the language community. You do see this in other communities as well. Yeah. All right, I've been talking too much, but thank you all very much. We'll just call that a day. Yeah, I got to still finish up my reviews here, but yeah. What else? I will say this about the Shinkansen Master. If when I finish up the N3 deck, the person who was supposed to be giving me some of the stuff that can help with the appearance of it has not delivered. So putting the pay to him on, I put the pay to him on hold. But if he delivers, I'll pay him also, and then I'll start sharing the Shinkansen Master decks as well with people who own the books. Similarly, like I've said with the hiragana, with the kanji books, remember the kanji? If you own the book, I'll share the deck with you. The all 6,300 kanji. So, same thing with the Tango books. If you own the books, I'll share the decks with you. So that stays the same. No problem there. So with that, sorry, looking at the TV show on the TV. Looking at the show on the TV. So yeah, with that, I'll call that a day. Thank you all very much. So hopefully I'll be back tomorrow, do another episode or two. I should have did 2 episodes. There should have been no reason for that today. So I'll start trying to keep it to 2 episodes. I think I should be able to keep that within 80 minutes or an hour 20 minutes or something. So that should be fine. That includes, since going a little over 2 hours shouldn't be a bad thing, because I went over 2 hours here. So yeah, finish that. Try to do 2 episodes a day. Finish that up. Get the Harry Potter. Finish that up. Get the Advanced Attack on Titan. Finish up. Try to get back into the Japanese dramas. And I've got again, I've got the dramas in my head of what I would like to watch or kind of play through. So that, and then of course I'll gather up books that I'm planning on reading. So I've got plenty of resources. Plenty of resources in order to do these whole Let's Reads for a long time coming. So, and consistency. I'll try to consistently keep adding stuff to Anki. Okay, try to do 20 words a day. I'm gonna try to do Shinkansen Master when I finish up N3. I might speed up how fast I go through that, but I was going like real slow, like 10 sentences a day. I might just speed it up to where it's within reason, but maybe 20 sentences or something. And yeah, maybe 20 sentences will be better. And then with Tango as well, I'll do 20 cards a day. With skipping, I'll skip stuff that I don't know, that I already know. But yeah, I think that's about it. Try to get the structured stuff going through there, and yeah. See you tomorrow. That's all I can say with that. Thank you all very much. K2 White House, White Mouse, sorry, K2K White Mouse. Thank you for the comments and questions and whatnot, and thank you all for watching. This is McMarine. See you later.